The area of interest of my thesis is the school setting, and the topic is educational progression of teenage mothers in senior high schools in Ikranza North and South districts. Now, the background of the study. According to the National Research Council and Institute of Medicine, the transition of parenthood is a major event in the lifespan of any individual, but takes on special significance when it precedes the transition to education, work, citizenship, and marriage that collectively offer the skills, resources, and social stock necessary for individuals to succeed as parents. Although alternative pathways to parenthood occur and are tolerated to some extent, institutional support for parenthood is still geared towards a traditional sequencing of transitions in their teenage years than they were in the past. That is a substantial proportion of women still marry at a young age. The developmental stages that individuals experience within their juvenile years and their more mature years can produce numerous changes. During this time of adolescence, learning how to balance social and personal situations are usually established. Several influences can either help or prevent a teenager's ability to succeed. Unfortunately, the girls who have become pregnant in high school, balancing certain influences tend to produce more of an undesirable outcome as opposed to a desirable outcome. Certain areas that are damaged in the lives of teenage parents can be both encouraging influences and unfavorable influences. The encouraging influences for teenagers may include positive reasons that add to the chances of receiving a secondary school qualification. For adolescents who do not receive suitable care, the unfavorable influences such as dropping out of high school may increase significantly. Teenage parents who benefit from positive social, personal, and family influences are more likely to succeed in high school, although they have the significant responsibility of being a parent. The emergence of this public health challenge associated with teenagers has been attributed to various factors, including peer pressure, substance abuse, denied access to and failure of contraceptive options, increased access to negative media and internet images that promote irresponsible sexual behavior and unhealthy childhood environment. Lending Ita 2013 opposes this. Coupled with early marriages and traditional gender roles, low educational status of female children, and poverty in the developing countries by Del Ita 2016. The research will scrutinize how being able to recover quickly from the difficulties of being a teenage parent and not graduating from high school are linked toward individual, household, and communal involvement. Due to the many risk factors teenage mothers face, they are less likely to have in-house and outside support necessary to remain in school, which subsequently could cause them to drop out of school. Many of the teenage pregnant girls will continue to stay enrolled in school during their pregnancy, and some may return to school after they have delivered their babies. Nevertheless, their difficulties and problems are often overwhelming, which makes it much more difficult to earn a high school qualification. Some of the difficulties may include belittlement from the public, financial problems, and transportation needs. According to Hauser and Coney 2011, Early research proposed that specific communal and personal background factors were connected to an amplified risk of dropping out, such as living in poverty, being from a certain sector, living in a one-partner home, or being from a household with low educational success or low encouragement for instruction, pregnancy, and unsafe neighborhoods. Women who marry in their early teenage years are at an even greater disadvantage, lacking the experience, skills, and sense of self that even a slightly older woman may be able to bring to her marriage and family. Moreover, pregnancy and childbearing at a young age, when a woman is still developing physical, pose serious health risks for a young woman and for her infant, contributing to high levels of maternal and infant deaths and complications. If a woman delays her marriage even for a few years, she may be able to pursue her education further and obtain skills that increase her access to employment, healthcare, and other resources. Experts agree that formal education is central to the development of young people as it prepares them for the world of work and for life. Education is the key to delaying marriage and to addressing the poverty, low status, and social norms that drive the marriage timing decision. Ponde, Makiwani, Rancor, and Lesoro 2009. Girls' education has been some positive strides in the past few years, following a steady increase in enrollment rates in primary and senior high schools, but the rate of repetition, dropout, late entry, and re-entry persists, implying that age for grade matching is poor. Research has also shown that though teens are concerned about and want to protect themselves from both unplanned pregnancy and sexually related conditions, misinformation about sex and its consequences is commonly, and many adolescents do not get the education and service they need. National Research Council and Institute of Medicine 2005. A major challenge for countries worldwide is to recognize that young people need support for successful transition to adulthood and to forthrightly address the reality that by the age of 18, most kids would have become sexually active. To decrease the high school dropout rate, Fuga 2008 recommended cultivating relationships. A teacher who is involved in his or her student's life, or an adult who is highly respected by his or her students, can make a difference between an individual's decision to continue his or her education or to drop out of school and not return. For this reason, secondary schools worldwide are establishing advisories, which are small gatherings of individuals in school that congregate with an employee of that school to establish an in-house club of people full of variety. These advisories meet throughout the school day to offer a more organized way of allowing those supportive relationships to develop and succeed. The adversaries that are regarded as the most successful will meet frequently. They will remain in close proximity for a number of years, and they will include growth within their staff that will assist teachers in supporting the educational, communal, and emotional needs of their students. Now, to the statement of the program, teenage mothers need to balance the developmental tasks of adolescence with the demands of motherhood, while simultaneously attempting to complete school and gain employment. PS and Holo 2009. Developmentally, teenage mothers experience physical, emotional, and psychological changes. McDaniel, Limba, and Coley Godfrey, 2007. The physical changes associated with adolescence include rapid bodily changes due to puberty and sexual maturation. The emotional changes associated with adolescence include new social role expectations for new school environment and peer interaction. Despite facing these challenges, some teenage mothers find success in terms of educational, occupational, and parenting outcomes.